Hello student. Today I am going to discuss some important definitions. Already in the previous video I have discussed a negative vector and equal vectors. Now I am going to discuss unit vector. What is unit vector or define unit vector? A vector which is divided by its magnitude is called a unit vector along the direction of the vector. Say this is a vector, A is a vector and its magnitude is A. If you put arrowhead above this vector, it represents vector form. Now if you remove this arrowhead, then it represents magnitude. So unit vector denoted by CAF. Unit vector denoted by CAF. Say unit vector of this vector is a cap. A cap equal to a vector divided by its magnitude. A vector divided by its magnitude is called unit vector. The magnitude of unit vector is always 1. Magnitude of unit vector is always 1 and its direction is the same as that of given vector. So direction of unit vector always give the same direction with the given vector. So given vector this direction, so unit vector also give the same direction. Unit vector gives the direction of the given vector. Now number 4, co-initial vector. A number of vectors having a common initial point are called a co-initial vector. Now you see, say this is a vector, this is another vector, this is another vector, this is another vector. So all their common point is say O. So A is vector, B another vector, C another vector, D another vector. The all 4 vectors their say common point is O. Now this vector is called co-initial vectors. Number 5, null vector. It is a vector having 0 magnitude and arbitrary direction. So magnitude of null vector is 0, always 0, but its arbitrary direction. A direction may be any direction. So such type of vector is called null vector. Number 6, collinear vector. What is collinear vector? Two vectors having equal or unequal magnitude which either act along the same line or along the parallel line in same direction or along the parallel lines in the opposite direction are called collinear vector. What is collinear vector? Say two vectors are said to be collinear if they act same direction. Say A is one vector, B is another vector, they are acting the same direction. Or these two vectors can act in the parallel direction. Parallel. A is one vector, B is another vector. So they are in parallel. Or one vector is this direction and another vector is opposite direction. That is called antiparallel. These two vectors may be in antiparallel. Then these vectors are called collinear vectors. Again I am telling you, two vectors having equal or unequal magnitude which act in the same line or parallel line or anti-parallel line, or that is in the opposite direction, is called collinear vector. Now I am going to discuss multiplication of a vector by a real number. Multiplication of a vector by a real number. A product of a vector A with a real number n is another vector Na, whose magnitude is n times that of A vector, and direction is same or opposite to the vector A, depending upon whether n is positive or negative real number. So multiplication vector, say I am showing you, say this is a vector, this vector is say multiplied by 2, then this vector will be 2 times increase 2a. So since we are multiplying plus 2, so direction is same with the initial vector a. So if we multiply by say minus 2 with vector a, then minus 2a, then its direction will be opposite direction. Okay, so direction of the vector is depends upon whether n is positive number, positive real number, or negative real number. So that is called multiplication of vector by real number. Okay, again I am telling you. So if you multiplied a vector with a real number, then magnitude will increase how much value you are multiplying. So if you multiplied by 5, it 5 times increase, magnitude will be increased to 5 times, and direction will be if you multiplied plus 5, then direction will be the same. If you multiply minus 5, then direction will be the opposite. So direction will depending upon whether n is positive or negative real number. Thank you.